Hey everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. Today is Friday, September 12th. We are entering like a drought time, but we're also entering a time that is, the nights are very cold. Well, for summer crops, it's very cold. Overnight temps have been in the 40s and 50s. So considering it's quite cold for hot season crops, but you're gonna see a lot more dramatic change now compared to maybe last week. I've torn all the tomatoes out. The nasturtiums, I really should put a cover crop in, but I just haven't had the energy. And now with the drought, the ground is very, very hard because it's mostly clay. So I may just let this be a cover. But you can see where Bartelli cherry was. Everything's out though. I mean, there's just kind of rotting tomatoes on the ground, which is just fertilizer, honestly. I have a resident rabbit that leaves manure on my paths, very helpful. Let's see, in row A, I have this lemon basil that's still happy as a clam as a shrub. And my Florence fennel is starting to look much more like a bulb type fennel than just a little sprig. So that's fun. There's, I think, 4 that have survived. There's these 3, and then there's the 4th one there, which for some reason is behind the times. I think things keep eating it. You can see a sprig cut off there from whatever it is eating it. And my attempt at transplanting 3 different mature nasturtiums. It looks like this one is okay. It's angry, but it's alive. And I think this is the yellow one. I see a blossom trying to open, so I think it went through a really bad shock when I did it, unsurprisingly. And then this was a vining pink one that obviously has not made the transplant, so that's okay. And then this is, what are you? Your blue ribbon broccoli. I'm taking quite a gamble this year of not covering my brassicas with shade cloth. I usually do, but I just have so many darn brassicas, I just don't have the material to cover everything. So, I mean, anything that you see chewed up is potentially damage from either cabbage loopers or cabbage worms. I believe there's 2 different species that eat brassicas, unfortunately. So I've been using a product called neem oil, which is derived from, I believe it's from a plant, and you dilute it like 2 tablespoons to a gallon of water, and you spray it, and it stinks, but it also assumably tastes really bitter. Sorry, I thought I saw some eggs in there, but I don't think so. Anyway, this broccoli is an exclusive from Gurney's Seeds. It's done really well in the past, and it's supposed to be 55-day to harvest from transplant. It's never been that early for me, but I also have always covered it. So we'll see what happens this year. And then in this section is the cover crop that I sowed very spottily, apparently. It's a mix of hairy vetch, field peas, and groundbreaker radishes. These are the radishes. You can tell by the little heart shape. And there's a scientific word for them, but I couldn't pronounce it or even remember it. But this is the first leaves, and these are the first true leaves. So these are radishes. I don't eat them. You can, but I don't. And then the field peas to fix nitrogen, the groundbreaker radishes to break up the soil. I haven't seen any hairy vetch, but I don't usually notice it until it's pretty mature. So this is just to help break up this soil a bit. It's a little bit compacted compared to others. And I really should put this same cover crop there, which was where the celeriac celery root and the violas were. I think that's still decently compacted. Time, energy, compacted soil from drought. Pick a reason, I'm dawdling. But it also is covered in maturing butternut squashes, and there's a watermelon just sitting there that's probably ready, or the foliage is completely dead. There's another small watermelon there that I doubt will do well. And then there's a couple butternut squash. The lupine is surprisingly still alive, at least one of them. I've been using this as a short path, so I'm quite surprised. And then this was where tango stalk celery was. That hasn't been in the ground for a long time. I think it's a lot earlier of a season than I thought it was. I was treating it like celeriac, celery root, which you harvest usually in August. But its season is shorter than that. Early jalapeno. Production is slowing down, I'm sure, because of the drought, but it's still being ridiculous. Burgundy okra is still doing really well. I expected, since okra is a hot season crop, I expected there to be problems from all the cold weather, or cool weather, I should say. We certainly haven't had a frost. The frost would kill it, or at least severely damage it. But I expected this to slow down a bit, and I still see plenty of new pods coming up. Like, this is maybe a day old. And there's plenty more flowers coming up, so I'm surprised. And then same thing with the surprise is this bonfire salvia. It's probably 3/4 my height. I'm quite surprised how tall it is. But these are new blooms. They're nice and fresh and vibrant and honestly quite striking. So I do think the hummingbirds are gone now. This is major bird migration time of year. I think it's early September to early October. It's about a month period of major migration. But anyway, there's nothing there, but I've been completely ignoring these bell peppers because, that one has sunburn. That's surprising. These bell peppers I transplanted late. I purchased them because late in the season. If you've been following along, I'm sorry to continuously repeat myself, but I originally had planted a seed mix of bell peppers that didn't end up being bell peppers. The term in the gardening world was peppergate, a big drama about the fact that suppliers mixed up seed mixes, or seeds in general of peppers. So I ended up getting, instead of bell peppers, I ended up getting banana peppers and some kind of weird little cherry pepper. I kept one of the cherry pepper plants, so these bell peppers I purchased late locally, and they're doing poorly because of the drought, but also because I think I got them in so late compared to what I would have wanted. So once again, a failed pepper crop for me. Whoa, Nelly, let's not take a tumble. But like, this is a good example of okra. So this one, the flower has just fallen off. This probably fell off last night, and then this is probably a day old of a pod. And then one of the pods got away from me. I missed it because it obviously blends in with the stalk. So this is probably, I don't know, 8 inches long, 6-8 inches long. But this is long past woody and not really edible per se. So I'm going to either save that for seed, or I want to try making some decoration. I got the idea from a local woman at the farmer's market. I want to try to make some kind of poinsettia type ornament. I think it'll be fun. We'll see. But here's a flower to come off. And then there's a pod, there's some flowers. This okra is actually taller than me. Just taller than me. So that's fun. Anyway, this row is kind of a fun repeating pattern of stuff. Here's Thai Moon and Vesuvius Thai chilies. They're well and ready to harvest. I may try hot sauce, I may not, I don't know. And then here's a few, Get out of my way. Too much stuff in the same spot. They're the cherry peppers. They ripen to red, and they're just little things. I was thinking of attempting to pickle them, but I really won't use them. There's no point in doing it. It's a gorgeous morning out. I pulled the trellis out here too. This was where all the cucumbers were. All the cucumbers. Both the pickling cucumbers, which have been out for ages, and the summer dance slicers. I even left some of the fruit here because I'm just so over cucumbers. Well over 150 pounds of cucumbers this year from two plants. 2. So I'm well and over it. Oh, I forgot about this. Hannah's Choice Cantaloupe. 1. I think I saw at least 2 or 3. 2. There's another little one right there. 3. Let's see. 4. That's a good size one. There's another little, I don't think you can see that on camera, but little tiny one that looks just pollinated. So 5. There's another couple. So this is actually doing a second round of fruits. And those are just the ones on the ground. There might be some on the vines growing, but I'm really kind of surprised they're fruiting because it's been so dang dry. And the temperatures have been bonkers. So I don't know if they'll actually produce well. And I just pulled my oyas out too, darn it. The oyas are the clay pots that I put water in to keep the ground nice and evenly moist. Oh, there's another, that's a crazy looking one. There's, that's a that's a watermelon. That'll definitely fall down. You can tell it's a watermelon from the foliage. The cantaloupe, where's a good leaf? Well, the cantaloupe foliage is nice and round, almost like a heart shape. And then the watermelon, there's a second little baby fruit. Where is it on screen? There, I think that's it. But the watermelon foliage is very, they're probably doing it because all the bees keep coming to them. But, and then the rest of what I have on the arch, trying not to take a tumble, is that watermelon. I should probably just pull that watermelon off and feed it to the chickens. But I'm waiting for all the butternuts to ripen, so they need to darken and the vine or the stem will turn brown. If you harvest a butternut squash before it's ripe, it's still edible, but it's definitely better when it's actually ripe. I want to see if I can find one that's actually ripe. I don't think I have any though. You'd think I have plenty because there's so darn many from so many different ages, but this one's pretty close to ripe. The stem is turning brown. That one has a split in it though. But the squash on the outside is definitely like a nice creamy orangey color instead of that, kind of like that. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it's a nice creamy orangey compared to the pale tan. Whoop. Do you think that's rabbit or do you think that's deer? That's pretty good size. How the hell would deer be getting in here? My fence are 6 feet tall. Well, I thought it was a rabbit. I assume it was a rabbit. But if it's a deer, then that trap isn't going to work, is it? I'm going to have to put a camera out here and see what shows up. It's not eating very much. I saw a couple nipped. It's been eating the kale, which I'll show in a minute. It's been eating the kale. It hasn't been touching the carrot tops. I haven't really seen any prints either, except rabbit, which is what made me think it was rabbit. Anyway, zucchini is completely dead. I basically tore it out and said, I'm done with you. Provence lavender, still randomly flowering. Nice medicinally one as a pest repellent. This is, I think, hidcote, which I'm definitely gonna keep, maybe try to split and produce more of. I'll definitely purchase more. I purchased that one. And then here's Munstead, which has gotten quite big. One of the edges is over here, and the other edge is all the way over there. It's flowering again. And I don't know what happened to Elegance. It looks like it's gotten smothered. Unsurprisingly, since I've done diddly peanuts with it. And then all the flowers are still going pretty strong. The straw flowers are finishing off. But you can see that Cherry Queen Zinnia is still trucking on, having a good time. So is the Strawberry Fields Globe Amaranth. I want to like you more, but you're just kind of a mess. The straw flower is doing okay. Most of it is at the point of going to seed. So that'll be fun next year to see what I end up with over here. But there are still some working on opening and going through its paces. This one's just opening. I think this is my favorite stage of it. This is a little farther. I don't really love the yellow center, but I guess that's just what straw flowers look like, which is a bummer. Not my favorite. And then all this purple you see is one plant of wild violet petunia. It's a nice little type that really climbs around. I do really like it. It's from Baker Creek Seeds. It's a great ground cover. It probably gets, well, there's that one right there. That's probably closer to 2 feet tall. But that might be leaning against something to get higher for light, because this grass in betwixt is in the way. And this lemon basil that volunteered itself from last year. Carrots, Bolero Nantes carrots. Very spotty germination. Awful compared to last year. My last fall crop of carrots did really nicely. Yeah, this isn't good. I mean, it's fine. Everything I grow is novelty and a nice to have. It's not a make or break, but still. And then moving on, I think we're in row F, G, something like that. I've long forgotten because the tags are long lost. But this is burgundy sprouting broccoli from Gurney Seeds also. This is a good example of cabbage looper damage. There's some webbing to it too. Not that you can see it on camera. I might even be able to find a worm. They might also be called cabbage loopers. Oh, there's a little buggy something. Hi. I have sprayed all these pretty vigorously with neem oil. So it might be that this is just old damage, not necessarily active damage. These two plants are a good example of, where am I on screen? It's so bright I can't see. I think these are them. These were definitely cabbage looper damage. I picked the worms off and I pulled, it would help if you look at the plant, Addie. I pulled the worms off and I sprayed them very heavily with neem oil directly, which, oh, there's one. Okay, neem oil doesn't work. So there's the, I don't know where that just went. There it is. So that's a cabbage looper type caterpillar. I guess I need to blast this with neem oil again. But, darn. I really should get BT, which is a bacteria, stands for a bacteria. You spray it on though. And it's harmless to us, but it affects insects. So that would be, there's another one, darn it. I need to order some BT. I'm a little surprised I'm having as much insect issues as I've had, because I usually have tons of birds, which usually eat them, but anyway. This sprouting broccoli is the same I've grown last year and the year before. I usually only do it in the fall now though, because the springs are just so hot. But they produce smaller florets that are purple with mostly green foliage. They're lovely and they're so delicious. Extremely cold hardy, which is what I like. It keeps producing. And then, oh, look at this. I've got some California poppy coming back up. That's not ideal. This is my spinach patch. It's about 5 feet But another case of, here are the little baby leaves, and then here's the first true leaves. So I need to keep these watered, but they're doing pretty good. And creeping Charlie, creeping along as it does. Abomination of a plant. I'm gonna have to pull this. I have to pull this California poppy out. They get too big. They'll overshadow my spinach. If it was on the back edge, oh, like that one. I can't tell if I'm pointing to it on screen. Like this one I'll leave because there's only one spinach right there. I can pull that one out. I haven't thinned it yet because I've wanted to decide what spinach where is going to be a good fit. Getting hot. But whatever is in the garden, which I can only assume is a rabbit because I don't know how a deer would get in here. They've hit the kale, which I know is a favorite of deer. Also some possible cabbage looper damage. It is so bright compared to my phone screen. I'm so sorry if you can't see anything. This may not keep going because it nipped right the top. This one is though. This is purple moon kale, which is a curled kale. This is nice and cold hardy. I have liked growing that. And then this is winter boar kale, which is also continuing on even despite the damage. So hopefully that's the end of that. Hopefully I can, if it's a rabbit, hopefully I can catch it, but I haven't yet. And then I think this is all promise. I think that says promise cabbage. Promise cabbage, which is a storage type green cabbage. There's 5 of them. And then this patch, I can't see shit on my phone screen. I usually try to line up pretty well, but I cannot see anything. This patch has technically been seeded with a cover crop. You can see some of the radishes coming up here. I haven't been watering it, so I'm kind of impressed it's come up, but I really should have pulled the grass out of it first. Yeah, I really should. And then we've got Sylvia Brussels sprouts, excuse me. I was gonna say brassicas. There's, I think, 6 or 8 of them. Oh, that one's gotten hit with something. Yep. Goddamn things. Get off of there. Get eaten by a bird. Sometimes there can be so many of these little worms on here. Because, I mean, the white butterflies you see, I don't know if those are the same as cabbage loopers. People call things the same thing, so many different names. But the white butterflies that fly around are the ones that lay eggs on brassicas, and the eggs will just hatch, and you'll have to deal with the clutch after clutch, because usually I'll see, I see the cabbage moths throughout the season, even when it's really cold out. So I don't know if there is a safe time from them until it's a really hard frost. Anyway, Brussels sprouts, and then this is Boscaro cabbage. Yeah, also a storage type, but it's red. I think with the 2 storage types, there's actually 3 storage types, but you haven't seen it yet. These will probably be a harvest in the spring, not over winter, or not throughout the winter. The Brussels sprouts, they will be harvested around Thanksgiving, I think, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I believe. Frickin' grass. Ouch. Frickin' grass. Can't win against the weeds. Let's see. Here's a tag. This is my... That is definitely not cabbage. I don't know what it is. It looks like broccoli to me. But, whatever you are, you're doing good, so keep doing it. Allegedly tiara cabbage, but it's definitely not tiara cabbage. This is definitely cabbage. These 2 are. I thought I only had, I thought I had 4 tiara cabbage, but I think I only have 2, and plus whatever those are. They still either cauliflower or broccoli of some kind. Tiara cabbage is a tried and true for me. They produce a nice little head, very cold hardy, fairly cold hardy, excuse me. And then this is tundra storage cabbage. It's a little bit savoid. It has a little bit of wrinkle to it. Goddamn cabbage loopers. I need to order BT. I'm gonna go in the house right after this and order BT. That one looks good. I think there's 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the last is Red Bull Brussels sprouts from my gardener. Sorry, I heard a chicken and I thought it was a person. So we're carrying on. All the brassicas. It hasn't been super warm, knock on wood. Hopefully that's past us. It looks like it's gonna peak just a little over 80 the next week or so. I don't know if that's enough per se to cause bolting, but I'm gonna ride it out and see what happens without covering. Unless it gets really hot, I will. And then the peanuts, which I've done absolutely nothing to this season. They'll be ready for harvest in October, but I don't know if I'm gonna even try. I may just treat it like a cover crop and see what happens. And then in betwixt it is coral fountains amaranth. This one is finally doing its really nice tasseling, late to the party as ever. And we have what a chaotic mess. I love it, it's fun. Then we have Florenza sunflower of varying seed origins. I've been loving harvesting this for bouquets on my counter. I saw a stem that was from me harvesting, but I've lost it now. Behind it here is the Chinese yard-long bean, which I culled pretty early on. Excuse me, because I didn't end up wanting them. I think yard-long beans taste like raw broccoli. Even though they behave like a green bean, they taste like broccoli, raw broccoli. Florenza Bonanza marigold mix. I love this flower combo or color combo on this flower. I do love Florenza sunflower too. And then I should probably try to reroute you, darling, but this is Champion of England shelling pea, which I started from seed in, it must have been June, huh? Let's just stick you through there and see what happens. Already producing well, obviously. Only a few germinated. I'd say there's 3 or 4 plants, which is a bummer, but I can test how well it does with this seeding schedule, because some say to produce it, or to plant it, excuse me, English, to plant it in, I think, July? I can't remember. I mean, it is September already, so I could very well have planted it in July. But these are a shelling pea, but you can also harvest them as a snow pea when they're nice and flat, or you can harvest them as like a green pea, hence the shelling, or you can wait until they're dry and treat them like a soup pea. So you've got options. Ooh, nice and sweet. Yummy. Oh, hi. There's a bee right in my face. Go forth and pollinate, my friend. Well, let's look at the marigolds, because I love me some marigolds. This one is very irregular in its flowering. Like, some of them are really light colored, and some of them have that nice, like, dense middle with some soft tutus, and others with more red, like that one down there too. So it's kind of weird how irregular even the same one plant is, because these are one plant. They're not a bunch. They're just one plant. This one's pretty regular. This is an old bloom about ready to die off. And some of these are just opening. Ooh, look at this fun spider. Can you see the spider? I can't tell if my phone's... But that spider is ready to grab someone. I got this bean when it had a big string in it, so I'm trying to chew the string. And then Carminat pole bean. Been pretty darn good, honestly. The longest bean I've had was 8 inches long. I measured it. Ready to harvest again, gosh darn it. I've gotten 11 pounds from these, I think, 16 feet, not 16 plants, 16 feet. Pole beans you can usually plant every 4 to 6 inches. I forget what I did for this. The purple beans, so unlike Veller bush bean, these beans are a little hard to see because the stems are so pigmented too. Like, I like when it does this because it kind of holds the bean out for you to see. But other times they hide them. So I'm gonna try a green pole bean next year and see how I like them. This Coral Fountains Amaranth is in its prime now, or past its prime, I should say. And then last row, we're almost done. This was where the corn was. I finally pulled it out. Ooh, look at you. You're fun. I wonder what you are. I can't even see it on screen. It's moving in front of me. It's right next to this corn stalk. There it is. I finally see it. My screen is so dark compared to the sunshine. But the corn stalks are right here. I'm trying to use it to smother the foliage, haha. But this is where the corn stalks were. I broke the stalks off at the ground, and I have used my twisty tool to break this up. I just ran out of energy and sunlight when I was out here last time. So I need to see how that goes. And then last but not least are strawberries, which I've also been battling pests against. So a couple of them have died off because something pulled them out of the ground to eat them. That's one actually getting ready to come back, thank goodness. And then some of them have lost all their big leaves and they're just producing these little things. I've been spraying these down with neem oil because I had convinced myself the rabbit was eating them, but I think it's probably some kind of insect enjoying them. Where was it? This brassica is a mustard. Probably, well, I think we have 2 different mustards here. I think this is the white mustard and this is brown mustard. If I remember correctly, I might have them reversed, but it's the 2 types I did grow for seed, which is still hanging in my basement. I haven't thrashed, whatever yet. But the strawberries are attempting to root. They're trying. This one's completely died. And this one's completely died. I ordered 36 of them. That one's gonna come back, I think. There is supposed to be one over here, but I can't see it. There it is. It's dead too. So I think I'm down to 30 officially. See, you can see something nibbling them. So I don't know what's going on here. That looks like insect damage to me, but these big ones look more like a rabbity type. Something with teeth. We'll get there. We're working on it. They've only been in the ground maybe, what, 2 weeks now? So we're trying to establish. We're getting there. So this is Flavor Fest June bearing strawberry. So hopefully these will do well, produce well. If not, I will harvest their little pups and do it all again and see what happens. God, those plants look ratty. The Carminat pole bean plants look so ratty, but they're still producing well. I usually get about 1.5 to 2 pounds per harvest, and I've been harvesting every 2 to 3 days. There's a cabbage moth, this white moth. They're a great pollinator, which is a bummer. They love flowers. That was one of the things that when I grew catnip at the last property, I remember seeing how frequently these cabbage moths really liked to drink from the catnip plants, the catnip flowers, excuse me. It's on some kind of wild aster right now, but unfortunately their life cycle eats my food, so it needs to not. Anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Oh, I forgot to mention, we are, I think, 4 or 5 weeks away from our first frost, which is estimated to be October 10th. We're in southern Ohio here, zone 6A. So we'll see when the first frost hits. Okra, sunflowers, maybe the amaranth, peppers, green beans will all get hit and killed from a hard frost. The peas, all the brassicas, the spinach, if I had lettuce in the ground, and the strawberries will all be fine from the frost. The fennel would actually get killed by the frost, but hopefully the fennel will be done by then. The fennel is 75 days. But anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow along my Facebook page, Realistic Kitchen and Gardens, to see more frequent updates of whatever I get myself into. All right, thanks. Bye.